Hey guys, welcome back to Popular Crime. This is Heather, and I just want to go over a few updates in the Gabby Petito case. We now have a witness who says that she and her husband saw Gabby's van parked in the Jenny Lake parking area in Grand Teton on August 25th at 5 p.m. Good Morning America also spoke to Brian's sister, and I will play that video for you. We also have reports from one of Gabby's friends who said that they had plans to meet up in Yellowstone shortly after she was last seen. I'm going to go right to KSL TV about the sighting at Jenny Lake.
Tito, we're hearing for the first time from a woman who says she spotted the couple in Wyoming.
Meanwhile, Gabby's parents making another emotional plea for help in finding their missing daughter. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Jed Bull talking to a former police chief on why Gabby's boyfriend has not been arrested at this point. Ashley Moser also walking us through the couple's last known whereabouts.
But we start with Garna Mejia, who's live in Wyoming. And Garna, you talked to a key witness in this case.
Yeah, that's right, you guys. The witness says the park was crowded. It was actually the National Park Service's birthday that day, and admission was free. But in the midst of all of that traffic, they spotted a singular van. Gabby Petito's family now believes that proves Gabby was here.
The majesty of these mountains, so splendid, they're unforgettable. And now deputies are banking on that to help them.
All those little pieces can be little pieces of the puzzle to help us figure out where Gabby is.
While authorities are keeping details of their search for 22-year-old Gabby Petito close to the vest,
I can't give you any specifics on areas of interest.
they're hoping accounts like Shannon Baker's
We drove through Tetons. The only stop we made was at Jenny Lake.
will narrow down the search in the park's 310,000 acres.
It had the black ladder on the back and the two black roof racks on top, 2 bars. And we made the comment that would be the perfect little camper van to go around in.
Baker says it was 5 p.m. on August 25th when she and her husband, Russell, spotted Petito's van in the Jenny Lake parking area.
My husband looked at it and goes, well, that's the same vehicle they used on American Pickers.
Baker says they didn't think much of the van until Sunday.
And I said, oh my God, that's the same van we saw.
The Bakers didn't get a picture, but they're certain they saw the van, and so is Petito's family.
And they were very detailed about their description, so I do believe that they saw the van.
You see, Baker and her husband were on a trip to make lasting memories, as he has terminal cancer. But they never imagined their memories could help a complete stranger.
Without a doubt, on my husband's life, I know for a fact that was their van.
Now, we're also hearing that there may be more witness sightings of Petito in the Jenny Lake area on August 25th. In the meantime, anyone with information is asked to visit the website tips.fbi.gov. As for the Bakers, well, they tell me they're actually also from Florida. In Jackson Hole, I'm Garna Mejia, KSL 5 News.
Now, Yellowstone is just up the road from Grand Teton, and one of Gabby's friends said that they had planned to meet up there at some point around the friend's birthday, which was on August 29th. Missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito appeared to blow off a meetup with a close friend in Yellowstone National Park, but sent a strange final text to her mother a day after claiming she was 800 miles away before vanishing. Her family believes the text was not sent by her, a claim now seemingly backed up by a close friend who alleges they were set to meet up at Yellowstone National Park in September. Miss Petito's pal, who wishes to remain anonymous and is yet to speak with police, told The Sun exclusively, "The last time I talked to Gabby was the beginning of August, when we were planning for me to meet her in Yellowstone after my birthday. That was the next spot, at least when we planned it. I was the only one going to see them. She wouldn't wander off and not contact her family. I know that for a fact. She wouldn't blow me off either. She's my person, and I can't stop thinking about how scared she must be." According to reports, Miss Petito also told a friend on August 27th on Snapchat that she was heading for Yellowstone National Park. Miss Petito's friend told The Sun that they were yet to pinpoint a date to meet at Yellowstone, but she was meant to call her on her birthday, August 29th, to make concrete plans. She never heard from her again. Her friend explained she was supposed to call me on my birthday, and we were going to figure it all out then because her trip wasn't on schedule. The whole thing is odd. My birthday is the 29th. I don't know why she'd send that text to her mom and not message me. I also don't think that she texted her mom, no service. She'd call as soon as she had service, in my opinion. We really just want to focus on finding her, the friend said. I wish Brian and his family would do the same. I considered Brian a friend, but the truth will come out, and I hope for everyone's sake sooner rather than later. Gabby is a happy person. She makes a mark on anyone she comes across. Anyone would tell you that. Gabby made sure I kept going when I didn't want to. She shines light on every situation and was always thinking about her family. Now, Brian is still exercising his right not to speak to authorities. His sister, Cassie, did come out and make some statements on Good Morning America. This is the first time anyone from his family has said anything about this case.
This morning, Brian Laundrie is still not talking in the disappearance of his girlfriend, Gabby Petito, but a member of his family is finally speaking out.
Me and my family want Gabby to be found safe. She's like a sister, and my children love her. And all I want is for her to come home safe and sound, and this to be just a big misunderstanding.
Laundrie's sister Cassie says even she hasn't spoken to her brother since he returned to his home in Florida from his and Gabby's cross-country trip without Gabby.
I haven't been able to talk to him. I wish I could talk to him. I've cooperated every way that I can. I wish I had information where I would give more. This is all I have is I gave to the police.
Sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated.
It looked typical of both of them. Whenever they'd fight, they would take a little break and come back and be fine, because that's what you do in a couple.
Cassie says her brother is someone who has always done the right thing.
He's a wonderful uncle. He's always been there when I need him. He's been there every time Gabby's needed him.
Now, Gabby's family has been instructed by law enforcement to stop talking about their daughter's relationship with Brian Laundrie. No explanation was given as to why. One thing we do know, though, is that finding Gabby is going to be difficult without some kind of help from Brian. Finding Gabby Petito without fiancé Brian Laundrie's cooperation will be extremely difficult, according to law enforcement experts in Utah. Quote, "Let's just be clear, he looks guilty as hell," end quote, said former Salt Lake County Sheriff and Moab Police Chief Jim Winder. While Brian Laundrie is within his legal rights to stay quiet, Winder tells Scripps station KSTU it is detrimental to the investigation. Quote, "This situation where Mr. Laundrie is essentially clammed up poses a problem of significance for law enforcement. If he continues to take the path that he does, they are going to be in a real tough position," end quote, said Winder. Now, the reason being is that this case will have to solely rely on physical evidence. And right now, all they have is the van and the contents in it. Now, no doubt those items have been gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Now, if something sinister did happen, it could have easily taken place well away from the van. Meanwhile, FBI Denver has now joined the search for Gabby. They're working with the Teton County Sheriff's Office, Jackson Police Department, the National Park Service, and other state and local law enforcement agencies across the country to search for her. Back in Northport, Florida, concerned parents have actually planned a protest at 5 p.m. local time today that will take place outside of Brian's house. Many other citizens have come out holding signs, imploring Brian to speak out and tell authorities what he knows. Protesters even posted, "Where is she?" on a stop sign close to his home yesterday. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on was something I've seen come up in our comment section. A lot of people have wondered whether or not there's a connection in Gabby's case to the couple in Moab who were found dead. Kylan Schultz, 24, and wife Crystal Turner, 38, were found dead and partially undressed at their campsite in Utah on August 18. Their campsite was in the LaSalle Mountains, which is about an hour away from Moab. You can actually get an amazing view of this mountain range from Arches National Park. Now, Kylan worked at the Moonflower Community Co-op. Now, I think this is just a coincidence that Gabby and Brian happened to be at this store where this woman worked. We've stayed in Moab for long periods of time, and it is a really small town. There are a limited amount of places to get provisions, and it's all pretty much confined to downtown on Main Street, which is where you'll find all the restaurants. I love this town because it is very old school. You have your typical downtown area, you have some streets that still have payphones on them, and an old school movie theater with 2 or 3 screens, which is just off of Main Street. But back to Kylan and Crystal's case. Now, they had texted friends that there was a creepy man around their campsite at the time, and they were concerned for their safety. Shortly after, their bodies were discovered. Now, I think it makes sense that the police are looking into whether or not there is some kind of connection to dot their I's and cross their T's. But a day before they were discovered, Gabby was already in Salt Lake City and Brian was flying back to Florida. And we know that Gabby was last physically seen leaving the Fairfield Inn & Suites with Brian on August 24th. Now, interestingly, and this might be relevant to Kylan and Crystal's case, police in San Miguel County in Colorado warned campers about a man in the area. Over in Telluride, which is about 3 hours away, police found more than 30 weapons at a man's illegally constructed campsite. He was staying on private property, and on August 23rd, police found a bunch of weapons. They found knives, hatchets, a crossbow, and several swords at this site. And even scarier, this site was just yards off of a popular hiking trail. Now, it is unclear if the man who was staying there was found or not. But that is going to do it for this update. If you like these daily updates, please let me know in the comments and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our uploads. And as always, stay safe, keep investigating, and we'll see you soon.